This game is brought to you in part by the Pepsi-Cola Company, the joy of cola. HSBC, your world of financial services. Continental Airlines, work hard, fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget, get out of the ordinary with budget. Mazda, get in, be moved. And by the New York Lottery. New York Lotto, will you be ready if it happens to you? Welcome back, everybody, to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Third of our four MAAC quarterfinals starting lineups for Ryder, brought to you by Citizens Communications. Crawford, Wicks, Wilson, McClark, and Mario Porter, the top scorer for the Bronx. Meanwhile, for Iona, Grant, Young, Kirksey, Diary Wilson, and Ivo Cresta coming off an injury, but he says he's a senior. He's got to be out there one way or the other. He is going to be ready to go inside and bang for the Gales.
Doug, Nakia Miller gets to start this game, and one of the reasons Jeff Rulin has made the decision, Nakia Miller normally coming off the bench for Iona. Nakia Miller has been playing great basketball and has been a force inside, and Jeff Rulin has had no choice but to start him because of his defensive presence. Leads the conference in block shots.
Ryder with the basketball. The Bronx won their play-in game yesterday, 73-58 over St. Peter's. 5 different players reached double figures, including Mario Porter, as expected, top scorer with 16 points, and he is the go-to guy for Don Harnum's Bronx. Don in his third season as head coach at Ryder, and Porter in just his second season of college ball has really developed into a threat inside now.
He certainly has. He's added the three-point shot to his game, added some range. And one of the other reasons Jeff Rulin has decided to start Nakia Miller is to defend Mario Porter inside, figuring that he's big and quick and can get out on his shot.
Well, we talked about how hot Marist was coming into the tournament, Glenn. We talked about how hot Siena was coming into the tournament, but really nobody hotter than Iona. The Gales having won 11 of 12. Jeff Rulin's club really with great momentum heading into the postseason.
Well, Jeff Rulin's made some adjustments during the course of the year. One, getting Jason Rowe more playing time. 2, getting Miller more playing time as well. Finding a nice combination between Grant and Wilson, bookend wings. And I think the big difference in the second half of the season not only has been Jason Young's play for Iona, but also been Phil Grant's ability to make outside shots. That really has opened up the inside for guys like Miller and Kirksey.
Now these two teams split their 2 regular season games. Iona lost in overtime to the Bronx in New Rochelle, and then picked up a win a couple of weeks ago. And a road game at Trenton. It was not on the Ryder campus.
Jason Young does a great job of stepping in and really focusing on Mario Porter, trying to get some early fouls on Porter as Porter now takes a seat. It's exactly what Jeff Rulin and his Iona Gale club wants, is get him off the floor. One of the most prolific scorers in the MAAC conference is Mario Porter.
Indeed, Porter 5th in the conference during the regular season at 17.5 points per game. Here's Nakia Miller trying to back down McClark. Kind of an ugly shot, couldn't get it to go. Wicks couldn't corral the rebound. Isagoe's got it for the Bronx. Alexander Isagoe, 6'5" junior in the game. This is Crawford at the point. Wilson from deep. Air ball, Isagoe's got it. Shot clock at 18. Against the man-to-man, Wicks off the curl. Shot clock at 4. Crawford lost the dribble, and it's Iona basketball.
Ryder has no problem winding that 35-second clock down to 5-6 seconds left and watching Michael Crawford go. Michael Crawford is really also another one of these plays that has dramatically improved his game this year. He's making some outside shots, he's putting it on the floor. Normally a catch-it-and-shoot-it type guard, but playing the point this year, he's taking guys off the bounce and getting into the lane.
Well, as you know, Glenn, his first 2 years at Ryder, he had Kevin Finnefrock at the point, so Crawford, by and large, could be a catch-and-shoot kind of guy. Now he's having to create a little bit more for himself. Here's Wicks. Guarded by Tyree Wilson. Still trying to find McClark or Porter underneath. Isagoe steps out and misfires. Clark, big on the offensive glass for 2.
That's what Jonathan McClark needs to do, is hit the offensive boards. Very strong player, one of the toughest guys. Give you a little tease, Doug. Jonathan McClark is on my all-soprano team.
Nice.
Isagoe pulls up from around 15 feet out. Look at McClark get inside position on both Kirksey and Young. No one boxing him out. You got to lay a body on McClark. He's too strong not to.
On the inbound, Jason Young found Nakia Miller underneath the hoop for the easy layup. We are tied at 2. Took a long time to get that first basket for Iona. Over 3 minutes. Isagoe, backdoor pass to Wicks for 2.
Tyree Wilson is going to have to do a better job knowing where that screen is out top and playing below the screen. That was too easy. One of the things Ryder likes to do on offense is rub guys off screens. They spread you out nicely, take you back door, kind of like Princeton, the old Princeton days.
Here's Kirksey, whose three-point shooting of late has been unbelievable. He's hit 18 of his last 26 three-point shots.
And we talked about his ability to make unorthodox shots. He shoots from the wrong side of his head. He's a righty. He shoots from the left side. But Doug, as long as it goes in,
that's right.
Jeff Ruland's not complaining.
Well, Kirksey's numbers phenomenal, as you would expect from a conference player of the year. Meanwhile, Nakia Miller, also among the best in the conference, lays it in for 2 more. Junior from Stratford, Connecticut, was a third-team All-Star this year. 7-6 Iona. Isagoe, quick trigger. Kirksey the rebound, quick up ahead, Tyree Wilson, who throws it down.
So this is where Iona is most dangerous, when they get it off the glass and kick it out to either Wilson, Grant, or Young, who really know how to run the floor well.
As you can see, Wilson did a little damage to the rim.
Yeah, that just has to be popped up.
We'll take a break with a stoppage in play at the Pepsi Arena. Iona slam dunking its way to a 9-6 lead on the MAAC television network. HSBC is proud to sponsor the HSBC Family Section. Tickets and programs for today's games were provided by HSBC, your world of financial services. Jeff Ruland is Iona Gales 9-6 leaders over the Rider Broncs. Iona during the regular year 17-10 overall, 13-5 in the conference, the number 2 seed. And during this 12-game run to close out the regular season, Glenn, where they won 11 of those 12, they out-rebounded their opponents, as you talked about, by 8 per game and shot 43% outside the three-point arc.
Yeah, they really have been improving their outside shooting, and that has been the difference for Iona. Grant's been shooting the ball well. Tyree Wilson, normally not a good outside shooter. Last 5 games he's been shooting well. Jason Young.
Isagoe, the pass inside to Tank Wallman, and he was fouled from behind by Nakia Miller. First against the Gales here in this MAAC quarterfinal.
The game plan from Ryder's standpoint is not to let Iona really up-tempo, then take it off the glass and push the ball up the floor. Try to make it a slower type of game and just hang around, because if they can, Ryder has the capability of making outside shots, making threes, and Crawford's one of these guys that can make those threes.
Crawford's first 3 points of the game, the junior out of Winchester, Virginia. We're tied at 9. We talk about the efficiency of the offense and the solid rebounding. Again, it's coincided with Jason Young, the man with the basketball, being reinserted into the lineup this year at the point. Nice pass to Phil Grant. Got himself into a good position to shoot, but missed. Cresta working the glass. He went down hard. Wallman comes away with it. Good to see Ivo Cresta out there. Missed 5 games earlier this year with a partial tear of his right calf muscle, also battling the ankle sprain most recently. Meanwhile, off the bench, instant offense from Mike Scott. Just like that, the Bronx put together a little 6-0 run. 12-9 Ryder. Foul off the ball. Isagoe picks it up. His first and the third against Ryder. Non-shooting foul, so Grant will inbound on the baseline.
With Mario Porter and McClark and Wilson on the bench, that's a big offensive punch that is sitting down right now. A lot now relies on Michael Crawford to create. One of the guys that he creates too is Mike Scott.
Kirksey lost it on the way up. Wicks comes away with it. Isagoe posting. Traveling violation. I'd have to say this is by far and away the most offensive Isagoe has looked in every Ryder game we've seen. He's looking for his shot much more.
Well, he's a very strong player. He's got the big, strong upper body. He likes to bull his way in, but you can't take that extra step, Doug.
Now, Glenn, first 3 minutes of the game, no points scored. Last 3 minutes combined, 21. Our score 12-9, Ryder leading Iona. Ryder's the number 7 seed. There's Kirksey on the little, what did I call it last time? The shovel hook?
It was something like that.
Unorthodox
I can't
shots.
remember. It was very impressive, though.
The bottom line is, though, it was good.
He's got those little jump hooks. He could use either hand.
Senior from the Bronx, went to Rice High School, and he's got 5 points here so far tonight. Iona back within a point. Mike Wilson, guarded by Young. Scott driving on Wilson, trying to go behind his back to Wallman. Fortunate to get it back, and with 2 seconds on the shot clock, missed the jumper. Here comes Jason Young for Iona. Bounce pass left side, Grant strong to the rack for 2.
That's a terrific pass by Young. A great job of keeping his head up. As soon as he got it, he went around his back. He didn't take his head away from looking up the floor, and he had Grant wide open the whole way down.
Well, after having far fewer minutes in the first half of the season coming off the bench, really only being a starter the last half of the year, Young is the 4th leading assist man in the conference.
Well, keep your eyes on Young. His head's up, he's looking ahead, it goes around his back, his head's still looking ahead, and he knows exactly where Grant is. Good little bounce pass. Grant does a nice job of making himself a target for the finish.
Maceo Wolford, freshman point guard from Jamestown, New York, into the game. With the dribble, guarded by Crawford. Wilson, back to Grant. Under 12 minutes to go here in the first half from Albany. Lob inside, Cresta. Short on the layup. Nice feed by Kirksey, but Cresta couldn't cash it in.
You really could see how that sprained ankle is bothering him. No explosiveness when he caught it.
13-12 Iona. Ryder with the basketball. Backdoor pass off the hands of Wallman. Out of bounds. Iona ball when we come back. We've got a timeout with 11:32 left to go. Here in the first half, Iona with a 1-point lead. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Iona 13, Ryder 12, 11:32 left to go in the first half of this third MAAC quarterfinal of the day. Here's a look at some future NCAA championships involving the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference. We'll be out in Buffalo for March Madness a little bit later on this month at the Marine Midland Arena. Then you've got the cross-country championships later on this year in Van Cortlandt Park in the Bronx. The 2002 wrestling championships here at the Pepsi. And then the 2003 NCAA men's basketball tournament back here in Albany. And you see ice hockey as well. The Frozen Four will be in Buffalo, and that's always a huge event, drawing hockey fans from all over the Northeast and from the Midwest, where college hockey is really a hot ticket.
Iona switching their defense from man, now playing a little 3-2 matchup zone, matching up with the perimeter plays out top. It's man-to-man principles, but playing spots on the floor.
Kirksey misfires on the 3. Mario Porter back into the game with the rebound.
Kirksey did a great job of getting back after he shot the ball in the transition defense to defend Clark, who was running the floor trying to get an easy basket.
Alwyn Jr. Curtis has come into the game for Ryder. Porter misses badly. Kirksey crashes the defensive glass. Curtis steals the pass. Wolford ties him back up, though. Loose on the floor. Wicks after it. Timeout, Kirksey. Iona gets the timeout, so the Gales will have possession when we come back. Now it's a 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right here, it looks like. Don Harnum out to center court to ask what the deal was on that timeout.
Wicks did a great job. He wasn't even in that play of hitting the deck. It was 3rd and 10. He just, out of your picture, he just jumps in your picture and just ties up.
Now watch, he was actually out of bounds, though, as he's touching the ball.
He was
his
out of
legs
bounds,
are out
but
of
he
bounds.
just did a great job of hitting the deck on the floor. That's what coaches want to see. They want to see guys going after loose balls on the floor. Wicks just tied up Kirksey. Yes, he was out of bounds, but he really saved the bucket.
10:25 left to go here in the first half from Albany. 13-12 Iona. 2 years ago, with Tim Welsh at the helm, Iona right here in this building won the MAAC title and went on to the NCAA tournament, where they very nearly upset Syracuse. That was a heck of a team.
Kirksey had a big game, making shots from all over the floor. And that was really his breakout game, I think, as a collegiate player going up against Syracuse. He made some big baskets. Both teams shooting well from the floor. Iona 17-10 this year, 13-5. MAAC play. One of the few teams, the only MAAC team to beat Siena in the Pepsi Arena.
Fans, you can find out more about MAAC basketball by going online at www.macsports.com. It's updated regularly and provides current information about your favorite MAAC teams and players. Leland Matthews has come into the game for Iona. Grant's pass to Miller, no. Miller again, blocked by Porter. Miller for a 3rd time, no. Junior Curtis pulls it down at the free throw line. Good defense to get down to the floor by Matthews, and it's Iona ball. How about some instant defense off the bench for Matthews? 6'5" junior from Long Beach, California. Iona with the basketball, leading by a point.
This is a soft zone, Doug, forcing Iona to shoot from the outside. They are not going out to contest the shooters. It's a very, very soft zone.
Junior Curtis's pass went between Porter and McClark. Each thought the other was getting the pass, and nobody got it. Turn it back over to the Gales. Crawford checks back in for Curtis. He's another one of the good young freshmen who's gotten better as the season has gone on and freed up Crawford and Wilson to do some other things in the backcourt. Bronx turnovers mounting already. .12 on the shot clock. Matthews from the corner, long, and Wolford called for the push, giving up 3 or 4 inches and did what he could to get a little bit of space, but he was caught.
Wolford trying to rebound on the weak side, little shove as he goes up. It's a good call by the official.
Crawford guarded by Wolford. That was the 2nd team foul against Iona, the 1st against Wolford. McClark to Porter. Strong layup. The 2 Iona defenders, Matthews and Grant, got tangled up and left Porter relatively open for the easy 2. Ryder back on top, 14-13.
Iona becomes a very tough team running a half-court offense because, number 1, they have great patience. Number 2, they really understand how to rub each other off on screens. And that's the key. You really have to understand what you're doing defensively, what the defensive philosophy is when you play against that. Do you come out, do you hedge, do you help out on the screens, or do you play the low side?
10 on the shot clock. Young decides to fire it up himself. Long rebound comes to Nakia Miller. Cross-court Grant. Well, the seal was on the basket for the first 3 minutes. Then they took the seal off for 3. And now the last 3 minutes again, last 3.5 minutes, as a matter of fact, only 2 points have been scored. Miller gets it in.
That's nice. That's good patience by Iona. Miller did a nice job of flashing to the basket to an open spot. And that's where Iona has an advantage, is getting the ball inside to Nakia Miller.
Crawford misses, Miller the rebound. Boy, Nakia Miller, another one who's rounded into shape his junior year. Offensive foul, though, called against the 6'9" junior from Stratford, Connecticut. Offensive foul. He was 4th in the league in rebounding, 14th in points, 2nd in block shots. We've got a timeout. 7:37 left to go first half. Iona with a 1-point lead over Rider. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. We have a close ball game here late in the first half of the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Quarterfinal tournament action. This week's Did You Know feature brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. And did you know that Iona College takes its name from the island of Iona, located in the Inner Hebrides, just off the west coast of Scotland? This week's Did You Know feature brought to you by Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Ah, the Inner Hebrides.
Iona now sitting in a 2-3 zone. Bad angle.
Young drops it back to Kirksey. Count the basket and one. And thank you, Mr. Wicks, for not knocking our cameraman to his back. Kirksey will get a chance to complete a 3-point play.
See, good point guards know who to get the basketball to. Kirksey wide open in the middle. Young sees him coming down the middle as the trailer. He uses his body to protect the ball. Good finish, good concentration.
And watch this coming right at you. Got the ball, and all of a sudden, whoop, Mr. Wicks into your living room. 4th team foul against Rider. Kirksey now with 8 points. He leads all scorers so far. High post Porter, strong to the basket, and the ball got wedged between the rim and the backboard, and on the alternate possession arrow, it'll come back the other way. Nice strong move by Porter.
Porter tried to kind of save it a little bit. As he went up, the ball got stuck, but Bob Adams, our official, was right on top of that call. So wait a second, that was stuck up there. Can't go back up and get it.
18-14 Iona with the lead and the basketball. Kirksey working the baseline, back out to Young. Iona showing good patience in the half court, working the perimeter. 10 seconds to shoot. Inside Cresta, great defense by Porter from the weak side. Rider went 16-13 during the regular season. Porter, count the basket, and one. Mario Porter, sophomore from Irvington, New Jersey. Last year on the All-MAAC rookie team, they call him Super Mario, and for good reason.
Porter attacks the gap of the zone, and once he catches it into the paint, he's automatic. Does a nice job of getting Cresta on his shoulder. See, that timing of his flash was terrific.
First foul on Cresta, and the 4th against Iona. Porter will get one, a 67% foul shooter.
Doug, we talked about the improvement of Mario Porter's game. Well, his body's improved as well. He's gotten leaner, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten quicker.
Young waits for things to develop, and Cresta charges into McClark and picks up his second quick foul.
As soon as Cresta catches the ball, McClark does a nice job of establishing it. Kind of walked into him a little bit. Could have went either way.
Junior Curtis back at the point for Rider. Guarded by Grant.
It's the toughest call to make in both the NBA and college, is the offensive charge.
No doubt about it. And even tougher on the playground. You ever try to figure one of those out?
You ever try to take one on the playground?
Well, no.
Okay.
Only so we wouldn't get in an argument. To avoid conflict, you know. Cresta, great position, and Young found him again. He's racking up the assists.
Cresta does all the intangibles for Iona. He flashes to the basketball. He keeps offensive rebounds alive. He really knows how to play. Knows where to be on the floor. He runs the offense very well. Sets guys up.
Well, it's a veteran team. Iona's got a lot of guys who've played a lot of basketball over the years. And in big games, I mean, this Iona team plays a great non-conference schedule every year. They play Big East teams, and they've done extremely well. Matter of fact, Iona's won its last 5 regular season games against Big East competition. That dates back to 1995, so Don Harnum's club up against it, certainly. A battle-tested Iona squad.
Well, Ivo Cresta, we talked about his ability to move to open spots on the floor. When Jason Young gets the ball, right now he's flashing to an open spot. Gets in front of the defense, makes it easy for himself to catch it and score. So he's putting himself into a dangerous position to score, and that's exactly what Jeff Ruland wants him to do, go from one side of the floor to the other.
Young got a hand on the ball. Kirksey as well. Porter finally just picks it up and puts it in.
When in doubt, pick up a loose ball. Don't try to dribble it. In that case, he picked it up and shot it.
6 points for Mario Porter. Ryder back within 2, 20-18. Kirksey cross court to Young. Inside Cresta. McClark got a hand on the pass. Iona keeps possession. Still working around. Grant back out to Young. Great ball movement by the Gales. Now to the post, and 2 for Dyree Wilson. Tremendous ball movement. The ball never touched the floor, and they get an easy layup.
Turnovers really mounting now for Ryder because Iona's coming down and capitalizing on those turnovers. Iona did a fabulous job of mixing up the offense. See, they kicked it inside. That was after dribble penetration, ball movement around the perimeter, dribble penetration, ball movement again, and then all of a sudden the inside became open with Dyree Wilson.
Wilson shuffled his feet on the move, turns it back over to the Bronx.
Dyree Wilson not known for his outside shooting, so everybody's trying to take a step back, force him to take that shot. He's got a very, very quick first step, Doug. If he goes by you, he will score.
And the Ryder Bronx certainly well aware of his scoring prowess. Just a couple of weeks ago, dropped a season-high 24 on the Bronx. Scott connects. Three-pointer for Mike Scott. The Bronx are back within a point. And that's 6 for the sophomore from Hyattsville, Maryland, and 6, or rather 3 back the other way for Ivo Cresta. Back to a 4-point Iona lead.
Ivo Cresta at 6'9" is actually the best three-point shooter on the Iona team.
Another turnover for the Bronx, and that takes us to our next timeout. We'll step away from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. MAAC quarterfinal action. Iona with a 4-point lead on the MAAC television network. Iona 25, Ryder 21, 3:41 left to go in the first half. Doug Sherman along with Glenn Consor at the Pepsi Arena. And there's a rundown of some of the MAAC championships that'll be held down at Disney's Wide World of Sports coming up later this year. End of April, golf, and in October, men's and women's cross country. For ticket information, call Anthony Travel at 1-800-736-6377 or check him out on the World Wide Web at anthonytravel.com.
Look where the top of the Iona zone is playing, right around the foul line. That's a very soft zone. Really making a statement type of zone for Iona to try to beat it from the outside. But Ivo Cresta and Phil Grant, 2 guys that can really stick it. Decent range, 20 feet out.
Offensive goaltending, interference called against Ivo Cresta, so it's Ryder basketball. Bronx trailing by 4. There's Cresta, who's been banged up just a little bit this year.
He sprained his ankle last Thursday, and Jeff Ruland was very concerned about Ivo Cresta's ability to play. thinking this game to only get him about 10, 15 minutes, but he looks pretty strong.
Well, he missed the regular season finale against Manhattan, and perhaps that rest enabled him to play more here. Porter, nice catch, go back up, and Kirksey got the foul. Mario Porter now with 8 points.
Porter was posting up Kirksey, and Kirksey just could not get in front of Mario Porter, and they threw it over the top, and Kirksey with a silly foul. If you're going to get beat like that, let him go. No need for a three-point play.
Which Porter caps off with the foul shot. 9 now for Porter. He goes out of the game. Michael Crawford back in. Tank Wallman also comes back into the game for Ryder. That foul on Tariq Kirksey, just his first, and the 6th against Iona. 3 minutes to go in the first half. This one's been nip and tuck right from the beginning. Kirksey cross-court Grant. Scott took a run at him. Grant tried to go by. Short on the pull-up. McClark the rebound. Crawford posting on Grant, pulls it back out. Would have been tough to get a shot off over Grant down there. Grant's a head taller than Crawford, but they put him back down in the low blocks again. Now Crawford flashes out. 10 seconds to shoot. Scott hits. He is an extremely talented young man and great range on the jump shot. 9 now for Mike Scott. Entry pass knocked away by McClark. Here comes Crawford. Grant giving chase. Young comes and slaps it away from the left side. Crawford didn't feel Young that way. Nice hustle by Young to knock it away.
I think Crawford saw Grant on the left side, and Young came from the right side, and there it is. Nice hustle. That's the way you want to get back, though, in the transition game. You want to hustle back to the paint.
Come on, Mike.
Stop the offensive man.
Young tried to save it near the Iona bench. Ryder ball. Ryder with a 2-point lead. First time they led since 14-13. Right now it's 27-25. McClark backing down. Cresta trying to stand his ground. Kirksey the double team, but McClark puts it up and in anyhow. Jonathan McClark, 6'7", 225-pound senior from Providence.
Well, McClark really cleared the defense out, using his arms and legs, creating some space on that move to the basket.
Glenn, in that game at New Rochelle that Ryder beat Iona, he had the game-winning tip-in. Able in traffic to get to the rim. Here's Wicks from the right corner all alone. He hits. 1 minute to go in the half, and the Ryder Broncs on a run, leading by 7. And the steal by Wicks.
So this is the typical Iona game. They grind you down, scoring 25, 30 points in the first half. Tempo standpoint, this is Ryder's game, Doug.
Tank Wallman from the high post.
Using that 35-second clock.
Scott again. Mike Scott with 11.
Scott's playing like a first-team All-MAAC player, making threes, hitting the offensive boards.
Ryder's on a 13-0 run over the last 3 minutes of this first half. Time winding down. Cresta underneath for the reverse. That snaps the run and gets the Gales back within 7. And that's the half. The Ryder Broncs close on a 13-2 run against Jeff Rulin's Iona Gales. At the intermission, 34-27 Ryder on the MAAC Television Network.
450 years of Jesuit tradition are woven into a Fairfield University education, an education characterized by academic excellence and service to the community. This success is fostered by a caring faculty that knows their students as individuals. Located just an hour from New York City, Fairfield combines a park-like campus conducive to learning with the city's cultural and career advantages. Fairfield University, where education reflects the challenges and opportunities of a changing world.
34-27, Rider with a 13-0 run to grab a 7-point lead at the intermission of this quarterfinal game of the 2000 MAAC basketball tournament. Welcome back, everybody. Doug Sherman and Glenn Consor. And that run, a little bit of defense and some great outside shooting by Mike Scott. Mario Porter also getting involved.
Well, the first half was clearly a half of droughts. There were 5-minute periods that each team had where they couldn't score the ball. The only difference was Rider did a great job the last 7 minutes of making three-point shots. Mike Scott did a great job. McClark was pounding the offensive glass, and that was the difference. Iona just couldn't convert on three-point shooting. A very soft zone from Rider is causing some problems for Iona.
Well, the Gales were forcing a lot of turnovers early, and I guess they just couldn't cash in enough.
No, they couldn't, but I really think that 2-3 zone, the guards in the 2-3 zone are playing below the foul line, really making a statement, try to beat me from the outside. No one except from Kirksey is making outside shots for Iona.
Okay, let's check some of the scores from around the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference here at the MAAC tournament. Scores brought to you by Mazda. Get in, be moved. And you see Niagara beat Marist. Canisius lost to Siena earlier today, so it'll be the Purple Eagles against the Saints in one semifinal tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, on the women's side, the finals for tomorrow night are set. It'll be the Peahens from St. Peter's against the Stags from Fairfield, the two top teams coming in ratings-wise on the ladies' side. Back to the men, you see the Citizens Communications standings, and Siena the #1 seed, followed by Iona, and Fairfield another very dangerous team we're going to see coming up later on here tonight in Albany. We'll take another break. We're at the half. Iona trailing Rider 34-27. We'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this.
I know most of you just graduated high school last year, or maybe you've been working for a while, seen some things, done some things, but nothing has prepared you for what's going to happen now. We're going to set goals for each of you, way up here, way up here, and then we're going to help you exceed them, believe it. And when finished, you're going to have not just a degree, you'll be a different person, a better person. Welcome to Iona.
Aspire, achieve. Iona. Call Iona College at 1-800-231-IONA.
This game is brought to you in part by Mazda. Get in, be moved. The New York Lottery. New York Lotto. Will you be ready if it happens to you? Continental Airlines. Work hard. Fly right. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Chase Manhattan Bank. The right relationship is everything. Bob Stores. Great buys on brand you wear. And by SmallWorld.com, the largest independent developer of online fantasy sports games. We are at the half. Rider leading Iona 34-27. The winner of this quarterfinal will reach the semis and play tomorrow at 2:30 against the winner of our upcoming quarterfinal between Fairfield and Manhattan. We'll have that one immediately following this one. And Rider with a big run right before the half has taken command. Mario Porter with 9 points. Mike Scott with 11 to lead the way for Rider. While on the flip side for Iona, Tariq Kirksey leads the way with 8 points, and that leads us to our halftime feature. Tariq Kirksey, the 2000 Pepsi Player of the Year. He led the Gales to the #2 seed in this year's basketball championship tournament. Let's take a look at Tariq.
You gotta love the Slick Watts headband and the Foreign Legion do-rag for practice. You gotta love the standing jump shot and his ability to get free and hoist shots from all kinds of wacky angles. Most of all, you have to love Tariq Kirksey's attitude. Second-year Iona coach Jeff Ruland is a big admirer of Kirksey's hard-hat approach to the game.
Just shown great maturity on and off the court since he was a skinny, snot-nosed kid from Rice. He just does everything you want, and he works his butt off. And I love him, and I'm going to miss him.
Ruland has enough confidence in Kirksey's leadership and decision-making abilities that he's essentially handed his captain the on-the-court reins to the Gales for the season.
Before the season, we talked about it. He was just like, well, I'm putting it in your hands. This is your team. We're going to run it how you want it to be ran. So he kind of gave me the role where it's my team.
Sometimes it looks as if Captain Kirksey is expending less energy than any other guy on the floor. Do not be fooled.
Sometimes that's to my advantage because like, I try to play more relaxed and under control instead of some people play a little too fast for themselves. They go out, they look like they're working hard and running, but then you kind of make mistakes with that.
He's not that great of an athlete, believe it or not. People throw that out there, and I'm like, you know, he's not the high flyiness or the quickness. He just knows how to play. He knows how to get things done. He's got great instinct, a great feel for the game, and I've learned never to doubt him. He's just so smart in terms of getting position, and then, you know, you think he's only 6'6", and he's not the strongest guy in the world, but you know, if my life was, you know, on the line and I had to give the ball to one guy against any of the guys on my team to get me 2 points on the block, it would be him. But, you know, he also handles the ball. He can occasionally shoot the three. He's got the whole package.
Tariq Kirksey, the #4 all-time scorer in Iona College history, this year's MAAC Pepsi Player of the Year. At the half, we'll be back with more MAAC basketball after this. Rider 34, Iona 27, halftime of our third MAAC quarterfinal at the Pepsi Arena in Albany. And our first half statistics brought to you by Citizens Communications, and Rider shooting extremely well at 56%.
Well, points off of turnovers really has been the story for Iona. They're really doing a nice job capitalizing on the turnovers, but take a look at the three-point field goal shooting. That really is the underlying story, because they're not making shots against the very, very soft Rider 2-3 zone. That could be an issue. Tempo, though, Doug, is the story of this game also. Rider doing a nice job keeping it in a nice, slow pace.
When we come back, we will have the start of the second half for you between the Rider Broncs and the Iona Gales. For one of these two teams, they'll move on to the semis. For the other, they'll be knocked out. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. .34, Iona 27 at the half. Tariq Kirksey, we just saw a moment ago the feature on the senior from the Bronx, and he begins our halftime highlights from downtown.
Well, you saw a little dribble penetration by Jason Young, hitting Kirksey for a nice three-point shot. Iona's going to need to do that more in attacking the Rider zone in the second half. Miller did a nice job of flashing the gaps. We saw some good three-point shooting from Rider. Scott, with time running out on the 35-second clock, throws up a prayer that's answered. And then R.J. Wicks, not normally known for his shooting, shows he can fill the three as well. So all of a sudden, Rider has a whole bunch of different weapons that they're trying to attack Tariq Kirksey with, who dropped his headband in the last 3 minutes of the first half.
That was about the time Rider was going on that 12-0 run.
Mike Scott doing a job, Doug, off the bench, 11 points.
You know what? The best stat individually on the halftime stat sheet, Jason Young, 8 assists. And many of those going to that guy, Tariq Kirksey. Great combination. Boy, the seniors really have come together in this run of 12 games where Iona's won 11.
No question about it. Also, Crest is not getting the start in the second half as well as the beginning of the game, but he has been a contributor this game, playing on that bad ankle.
Crest is 7 points, 4 rebounds, but 4 turnovers in 13 minutes of action. Wilson, Wicks, McClark, Porter, and Crawford starting for Rider. Porter from the baseline, no good. Jason Young, Phil Grant, Diary Wilson, Nakia Miller, and Tariq Kirksey, the starting 5 for the Gales. Grant has it stripped away. It goes out of bounds. Back the other way. It'll be Rider ball.
See, Iona really trying to pick up the pace, forcing the issue a little bit, showing a little 2-2-1 full court pressure, trying to cause some turnovers. They want to go up and down, Doug. Rider's not letting them do it.
We saw a couple of times, saw Diary Wilson in the first half with a big slam off the feed from Kirksey, but not too many fast break opportunities.
Jeff Rulin would like to run on made and missed baskets, and that's a nice job by Wilson taking it to the rack. He really has a nice way of feeling where the gaps of his zone is, and attacking those zones and going past guys with his handle. He could only develop that outside shot a little bit. Show that halftime locker room chat with Jeff Ruland wasn't that pleasing. Rightfully so. There's Donnie Harnum. He's done a fabulous job with the Ryder Bronx. In fact, Doug, I was having breakfast this morning by myself, reading the newspaper, and a young woman came over to me and said, you know, you really do a great job. And I said, thank you very much. She said, yeah, I've been watching you for a while. You do a fabulous job. And I said, well, thank you very much. And she said, well, you know, I've been watching you for a couple of years, and I think you do a great job with the kids. And I said, oh, really? Well, thank you. And she thought I was Donnie Harnum. And here I was thinking I was this big TV personality up in the Albany area like you.
Well, if I was Don Harnum, I think I'd be offended. Did you give her an autograph?
I signed Donnie's name.
Don Harnum?
Yeah, Don Harnum.
Obviously a big follower of the Bronx. This woman must have been. She can pick you out of a crowd like that.
Man. I had my ego up way high, and all of a sudden, shot me right down.
Yep. 18:43 left to go, second half. Ryder 34, Iona 29. Jonathan McClark against full court pressure. Broken to Wicks. Porter backing down on Miller, one of the best shot blockers. He didn't block that shot, but he changed it. And again made Porter take a tough shot. Kean Miller and Brian Carroll of Loyola, clearly the two top shot blockers in the MAAC this year. McClark the block on Miller, but we've got a foul against Ryder.
Well, Tariq thought he got hit when he went up, and he does a nice job of getting inside position, hooking the right elbow into McClark. He goes up strong. Miller picks up the loose ball, just takes it right up, and Wilson on the wrist.
His first and the second against the Bronx here in the second half. Miller this year a two-time MAAC Player of the Week. Had a big game here on this floor against Siena back on January 24th. A career-high 24 points, and a good majority of those came from the free throw line. Gales giving chase in the backcourt.
Nice job by Crawford. See how he took 2 steps back to assess where he was?
Got all the way to the basket, but missed the layup.
You got to finish that.
Jump pass taken away by Wilson. Wilson bounce pass, anticipated beautifully by the big center. Nakia Miller usually blocking shots up in the air. This time he reached down and took away a bounce pass.
See, there was no balance in that transition break. Wilson has the ball. He has 2 Ryder players on his right. Instead of giving it to the player in the middle of the floor who would have gave it to Crawford, he kept it.
McClark fouled by Grant. Nope, make it Miller. Nakia Miller steaming over that. His 3rd personal, so he's got to be replaced by Cresta. Ryder had a big 13-0 run right before the half. We've got a foul off the ball. And that put the Bronx on top. They still lead by 4. Kersey called for his second foul.
Yeah, he got caught holding Porter as Porter tried to go to the basket. Interesting matchup with Kirksey on Mario. With Miller out of the game, Kirksey has no choice but to defend Porter on the inside. Miller was doing a nice job on Porter.
Well, now Kirksey's got the assignment in the right wing. Shot clock at 15.
Ryder offense is pass and cut, set a screen, rub somebody off the screen, keep the court spread wide.
Crawford, no good, but tipped up and in somehow by McClark. He did not have any sort of position, but somehow tapped it in. Kirksey, great position, count the basket and one. Wicks the personal, coming over to help out. And somehow, Tariq Kirksey gets the ball through the hole.
Keep your eye on McClark coming over the top. And all he was trying to do was keep the ball alive. Watch this. Tries to keep it off the backboard, and it goes in. And Kirksey comes back, and he's been making these kind of plays his whole career. Off balance, falling on the floor, sometimes
heels.
Shooting when he's on the floor, making shots.
And a perfect swish on the free throw. Kirksey with 11. That, along with Mike Scott, leads all scorers. Back to a three-point game. Wilson misses the layup. Kretsch after the ball. Iona's got it. Phil Grant quickly up ahead. Tyree Wilson, Iona with some numbers. Wilson, though, bottled up on the double team. Grant knifes his way to the hoop. No. Kirksey keeps alive. Wicks, though, has it for Ryder. 3-on-1. And Wilson's tied up by Young. Jump ball.
Back to Iona. Good job by Jason Young, who's been doing a terrific job defensively all game. He's also a little upset because he was wide open on the previous segment offensively. They just couldn't find him on the basketball, so what does he do? He hustles down and gets it back himself. Donnie Harnum not happy with that. Thought he got hit on the arm. Thought Mike Wilson got hit.
Harnum's Ryder Bronx, though, leading 36-33. Early second half. Inside Kirksey. Porter went for the steal, and when he didn't get it, left Kirksey all by himself for an easy two.
Kirksey has such a terrific feel for where he is on the floor when his back is to the basket. He throws up shots from his hip, and then you don't think they look like they're going in, but he knows exactly where he is. He knows exactly how to shoot it, either hand.
Young, the great steal from behind on Wilson. Inside to Kirksey, the jump hook. And the Iona Gales back on top by a point.
This is why he is the MAAC Player of the Year. He does so many things well.
15 for Kirksey. Wilson misfires. And again, Kirksey in position. Wicks picks up the foul. Well, Kirksey is not some secret that only the MAAC knows about. Very prestigious, honored. He was an NABC District 2 All-Star this year, along with Syracuse guys, St. John's guys. We'll talk more about that when we come back. Timeout on the floor. The Gales back on top by one on the MAAC Television Network. Thanks to a 10-2 run, the Gales of Iona back on top by a point. Fans, the 2000 Easton MAAC Hockey League Championship hits the ice March 16th and 18th at University of Connecticut Ice Arena in Stores, Connecticut. All session passes priced at $10 each. Very affordable. For ticket information, call toll-free 1-877 at UConn. With the regular season winding down, we take a look at the standings. And Quinnipiac on top by 9 points over Mercyhurst. Canisius not too far back. UConn, Sacred Heart, Iona, Holy Cross, Bentley, American International, and Fairfield bringing up the rear. And we check the most recent scores brought to you by Mazda. Get in, be moved. And yesterday in the MAAC Hockey League, Quinnipiac, Holy Cross, Canisius, Sacred Heart, and Iona each coming up with victories on ice. We're here in a hockey arena as well, Pepsi Arena in Albany, the home of the New Jersey Devils' top farm club, the Albany River Rats. But it's a basketball arena here this weekend for the 2000 HSBC MAAC tournament. You see the Gales on a 10-2 run. Kirksey had it knocked out of bounds. It'll be Iona ball with 20 seconds on the shot clock.
You know, Doug, we talked about in the first half at halftime how this has been a game of runs, and it clearly has. And all of a sudden, Iona going on a nice 10-2 run, and they're doing it by getting the ball into Kirksey's hands. He just missed a chippy there. But you're looking at a Ryder team that's very inexperienced. They're a very young team. Crawford a junior, McClark's a senior. Everyone else is really sophomores and freshmen. So you're going to have a team that's all coming back next year, but they've gained some valuable minutes playing this season.
Again, they go into Kirksey. McClark fouled him. And so Kirksey will go back to the line. And as I started to say before that last commercial break, Kirksey was named to the NABC District 2 All-Star team, along with, from Syracuse, Etan Thomas and Jason Hart. From St. John's, Eric Barkley. And from Hofstra, Speedy Claxton. So some pretty heady company for Tariq Kirksey, the MAAC Player of the Year. Had great success at Rice High School. You heard the halftime feature as head coach Jeff Rulin remembering Kirksey as a, quote, skinny, snot-nosed kid at Rice, and how he's developed into one of the top stars here in the conference.
And his name appears in every statistical category in the MAAC. Every one. Rebounding, shooting, scoring, shooting percentage, free throw percentage, three-point shooting. He's everywhere.
Seems like the only one that he's not in is block shots, if I'm correct.
You are correct.
I am correct.
You stand corrected. Incorrected. You stand incorrected.
But he's more of a
he's not
on the floor guy. He's not a slam dunk guy.
He's a very good defensive player.
Very cerebral. Plays the floor game. Plays his defense on the floor.
He also sees plays happen before they develop. And that's what separates him from.
Is that something that's innate, or is that something that you learn, or is it a combination of the two?
I think it's a combination of the two. I think you get better at having that ability as you get older and as you get more mature as a player.
Whoa. Junior Curtis took care of business what R.J. Wicks tried to do earlier. Took our photog down under the basket, out.
He did a nice job of staying with that play, Doug. That could have been a charge.
That is not an easy job. The guys who sit under the basket shooting the games to get those great low-angle shots, they really, I don't think, have a great idea on perspective sometimes when guys are flying at them, whether they're about to get taken out or not. And there's the angle they see all night, sitting and looking up at these 6'8" guys coming at you. Alexander Isagoe back into the game for Ryder. McClark goes out. Porter, Curtis, Crawford, Scott, and Isagoe out there for the Bronx. They're in the road uniforms because they are the lower seed, the 7th seed in this MAAC tournament. Iona in its home white uniforms, the number 2 seed. And unless the Gales make it to the championship game and play Siena, they will be wearing their home white uniforms for the entire tournament. Siena the number 1 seed, and Siena's already made it into the semifinals with a victory this afternoon. They will take on the Niagara Purple Eagles tomorrow at noon in one semifinal. The second semi gets underway at about 2:30. The winner of this game will take on the winner of the Fairfield Manhattan game in that second semi.
Jeff Rulin's done a fabulous job. Just think of being coached by a 3-time NBA All-Star. Guy who really was a fabulous player, and the greatest thing about his game was his passing.
And he says this is how you do a drop step. Then that's how you do a drop step. I doubt there's very little questioning when Jeff Rulin tells you what to do. Curtis bottled up, able to get it to Porter, and the pressure broken. Maceo Wolford on defense for Iona, guarding Crawford. Ryder really cold, Glenn, here in the second half. Only 1 out of 12 from the floor.
Iona has done a better job in the second half of keeping the ball out of Porter's hands. Kirksey's doing a nice job defensively on Porter.
Isagoe couldn't finish after the nice drop step. 7 minutes gone here in the second half. Iona by 2. Miller had the pass go off his hands. Junior Curtis comes away with it, lost it. Here comes Ryder. Porter, strong to the rack. Offensive foul, wave off the basket. Jason Young stood his ground.
Terrific job, great courage by Jason Young. Not an easy thing to do, to stand there when you know a guy's going to take it to your chest. This is bravery.
And it gives the star player for the Ryder Bronx his 3rd personal foul.
Porter too predictable on that play. That's when you pull up. Take the little 5-foot jumper.
Yeah, 3-on-1 could have gone to either wing or pull up, and like you said, chose option C, which was to pick up the offensive foul. Curtis Looking for a pick from Porter. He gets it. Porter on the low post, backing down Miller. Both players have 3 fouls. Ball stripped out of bounds. It'll be Ryder ball with 14 seconds on the shot clock. Phil Grant replaces Jason Young. Jonathan McClark also back into the game. And Porter gets a rest for Ryder. Isagoe to McClark. Isagoe left wide open. The Gales continue to beg him to shoot. Kirksey up, in, count the basket, and one. Every time I think I've seen every possible shot Tariq Kirksey can make, he comes up with another one.
Well, what you don't realize about Kirksey is how strong he is. That is not an easy shot to get up as you're falling downwards towards the floor. Watch what he does. He leaves his feet, draws contact. Now he's coming down, and he shoots it up. Great concentration. He's a magician.
While the Ryder Bronx have been scoreless over the last 5 minutes, Kirksey continues to pile up the points. That's his season average, 19. And we've still got just under 12 minutes left to play in regulation. Iona back on top by 5. Junior Curtis draws the foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Well, with Porter being stuck on 9 points, basically everybody being stuck offensively here in the second half, Glenn, somebody like a Michael Crawford's going to have to step up. He's only got 3 points. Maybe Junior Curtis, he had 10 points in the play-in game yesterday. Somebody for the Bronx will have to step up.
Well, the guards are going to have to start attacking to try to get some penetration and creativity from Ryder's standpoint. Right now, they're just relying on outside shooting, and that's not there. And if you can't get the ball into McClark or Porter, you're in trouble if you're not creating off the bounce.
First point of the night for Junior Curtis. He's able to fill it up, finish strong with a great Western New York trip. He had 19 at Canisius and then 18 at Niagara. That was back in the middle of February, and that earned him MAAC Rookie of the Week honors. Got 1 out of 2 from the line. McClark on the floor for it, and the quick timeout. I don't think anybody gets on the floor, gets possession of the ball anymore, and does anything but call timeout.
And falling out of bounds. It's a timeout, automatic. I'm not sure I like that rule, Doug, either. Because you don't reward the defense when you do that.
Glenn, the winners of the New York Lottery MAAC Scholar Athlete Award are Corey Osinski from Siena College and also Megan Coleman of Niagara University. Osinski's an English major with a 3.62 GPA from Schenectady, New York. Coleman, a human resources major, also with a 3.62 GPA. And she is from Binghamton, New York. The New York Lottery will provide new computers to Jefferson Elementary School in Rotterdam and Brookside Elementary in Binghamton on behalf of both Osinski and Coleman. The award based on GPA, community participation, and good sportsmanship. The New York Lottery, supporting education since 1967, salutes Osinski and Coleman for their achievements. 11:42 left to go here in the second half. MAAC quarterfinals, 41-37 Iona.
Iona now playing a 2-3 zone, trapping on the wings.
Curtis, nice lob on the look away, and McClark will go to the line for 2. There was a little bit of an attack for a Ryder guard. Wilson picks up the personal, his first and the 5th against Iona. McClark out of LaSalle High School in Providence, Rhode Island. Averages 7.5 points a game.
Donnie Harner might have himself the best number 7 seed ever to play in the MAAC. This is a strong Ryder team.
McClark gets 1 out of 2 and takes us to our next break from the Pepsi Arena here in Albany. 41-38 Iona. You're watching the MAAC Television Network. Iona 41, Ryder 38, 11:25 left to go here in the second half. Glad you could join us on Super Saturday from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. And fans, to find out more about MAAC basketball, you can go online and check out the new conference website. Its address, MAACsports.com. It's updated regularly and provides current information about your favorite MAAC players and teams. Spring MAAC championships, you get a look at it right there. We'll come back to it in a moment. As action continues here between the Gales and the Bronx. 11:13 left to go here in the second half. Kirksey, cross court to Grant. Driving on Curtis. Rebound Isagoe.
Grant's had a quiet game. He really misses outside shooting. He's not flashing to the ball with the normal intensity that he usually does. Attacking gaps.
Yeah, only 2 points so far for Phil Grant.
Hitting the offensive boards.
That means the starting Iona backcourt has scored exactly 2 points. Jason Young scoreless. Although points are not his forte here tonight. He's got 11 assists, a new career high. There's a nice assist from Junior Curtis to John McClark. 9 for McClark. Riders back within a point, 41-40. Young trying to get off the schneid, missed the long three. Scott the rebound. Crawford with the dribble. On the shot clock.
Well, Ryder's done a great job of staying in this game with Mario Porter on the bench.
Scott tried the little dish off on the penetration to McClark, and it went out of bounds untouched. Iona basketball.
Timeout, Iona.
30-second timeout called by Iona. 9:43 left to go in the second, and you're right. Mario Porter really, offensively, has not contributed. He had 9 points in the first half, none in the second half yet. The Ryder Bronx continue to hang around. Get a chance to show you once again the spring MAAC championships. Baseball and softball going to Marist College in May. Lacrosse and rowing at Fairfield at the end of April. Tennis, golf, a whole lot more after the basketball championships here in Albany. Golf down at Disney's Wide World of Sports. Earlier today I was talking to the MAAC Commissioner, Rich Enser, about the relationship with Disney, and it really has blossomed. He says it's a great chance for many of the athletes from the Northeast to get a chance while they're in school to go and really have a tournament atmosphere in one beautiful location and get some nice weather and a chance to see Disney. As mentioned a moment ago, a new career high for Jason Young, 11 assists. We still have over 9.5 minutes to play.
He's had a great floor game. His ability to get the assists in the transition game, also penetrate, has been a factor for Iona this game. Also, he understands who to get the ball to, and that's been so important as a point guard. If you have a guy like Kirksey on your left, and you got a guy like maybe Diary Wilson who can finish, but maybe not as well as Kirksey, you get Kirksey the ball.
And again, no offense to a guy like Maceo Wolford, who was the starting point guard at the start of the year, but, you know, 3 or 4 years ago, Jason Young was a young point guard. John McDonald was the veteran for Iona. McDonald knew what to do. A couple of years from now, Wolford will probably grow into that kind of player that Young has become and help to run this Iona offense.
So that's what I like about Wilson's game. He's got a great first step, and he knows how to score those mid-range shots. He has great bounce. Watch how he attacks. He goes up, gets the defense on his shoulder. Look how far out he holds the ball just so he can finish. Look how far out that ball is.
Diary Wilson trying to complete the three-point play. 9 for Wilson. Alwyn Curtis all the way to the basket for 2. That's only the third field goal this half for Ryder. They only have 8 points since the intermission, and we're 11 minutes into it.
That was a nice post-to-post by Junior Curtis. He's got a nice handle, Doug. He's got a great crossover.
it really frees up Crawford to be more of a two-guard when he's in there. McClark called for the foul. Diary Wilson was harassing him, and McClark whistled for the personal.
Look at McClark do a nice job of getting in the lane. Watch how he clears him out. So you can't clear out.
Although,
little Dustin Hoffman in there as well.
Yep. Little Tom Hanks.
Yep.
Number 4, though, on McClark. And as you see, the 5th against Ryder. Off the inbound. Diary Wilson finds Cresta for 2. 9 points for Ivo Cresta. Foul in the backcourt against Jason Young.
Donnie Harnum a little concerned right now because he knows he cannot afford any more of these 10-2 runs by Iona. Time is running out on the Ryder Bronx.
Porter back into the game. He'll go to the line for 2. Phil Grant tied him up and got him on the arm. Check that out. Nice job by the camera guys. Last chance. That's Jason Young's sneaker. Senior wants his season and his career to continue.
Jason
Young
Young
playing like it.
He's 2 assists away from a MAAC tournament record set by Doremus Benjamin. 13 assists.
March 5th of '94. That came against Fairfield. With plenty of time to go. 8 minutes to go. That record's in serious jeopardy.
He's got a lot of time left, Doug. One easy way to do it as well is to look for Mr. Kirksey. That's another assist. Add that to the tally.
Kirksey's got the assignment on Issagoe now, which basically in the scheme for Iona means double team anywhere Kirksey wants to go. As soon as Issagoe gets the ball, he drops back. See the shot clock in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Crawford against Grant. Double blocked by Kirksey and Grant. Crawford, with 1 second on the shot clock, was down in the land of the Giants with nowhere to go.
Kirksey did a nice job of trying to front Issagoe inside. Watch how he helps out.
Timeout on the floor. The Iona Gales have opened up a 51-43 lead. 7:19 to go. Second half on the MAAC Television Network. 51-43, the Gales over the Bronx. 7:19 to go in the second, trying to reach the semifinals of the MAAC tournament. And fans, Small World, a new internet sponsor of the MAAC, is the largest independent developer of online fantasy sports games. You can play Small World baseball, football, hoops, and hockey all for free, and they will have the best NCAA bracket game on the internet, Journey Through the Tourney, where you can sign up and you can compete against 50 friends and against the rest of the world. Now, Small World is based in New York, and the company loves the spirit of competition that exists in our league. MAAC fans would love to play and compete in Journey Through the Tourney. If you want to find more about Small World games, go to www.smallworld.com. And let's take a look at the Citizens Communications long-distance shooter update. Final standings for the regular season. Bruce Seals, the freshman for Manhattan, the champion. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC, once again the proud sponsor of the MAAC Long Distance Shooter of the Year Award. And we will get the chance in a little while later on this evening to see, as the shot clock runs out, Bruce Seals and his Manhattan Jaspers take on the Fairfield Stags in our 4th quarterfinal here today in Albany. 51-43 Iona. Glenn, you said at halftime, first 20 minutes was a game of droughts, and that has been the case again here in the second half for Ryder.
It's been a game of droughts and runs. Iona doing a nice job in the second half, controlling the tempo. See that, looking to push the ball up the floor, creating the transition game. Young's doing a nice job of putting pressure on Ryder with his offense.
Bill Grant for 2. He's got 7 points.
You know, you think about, I'm sorry, Doug, but you think about Iona's team. You know, we just saw Siena play a team with a lot of weapons. When you look at Iona, Iona has weapons as well. Diary Wilson and Phil Grant, when those guys get going, they are weapons from the wing spot. Of course, Kirksey can score in so many different ways, forms, and fashions. Cresta is 6'9", a great three-point shooter. See Cresta pick the foul up there, and Jason Young runs the show. Nakia Miller, look at that block. Look clean.
Maybe the bottom hand on the hip, perhaps. Up top, it looked clean, certainly. Well, to follow up on what you were saying, Glenn, 5 different Iona Gales average in double figure in points. So like you said, if one guy's not doing it, there are several others who can pick it up, and so far it's borne itself out. Kirksey with 21, Wilson and Cresta 9 each, Miller and Grant with 7 each.
The only difference between Iona and Siena is Iona is a very thin team. Siena is a very deep team. They go 12 deep. Paul Hewitt has that luxury of using so many different players. Jeff Rulin only really uses 7 players. Only 7 deep.
Well, he had a little bit deeper bench earlier this year, but Terry Sellers, a 7'2" junior who was among the league leaders in block shots, came up with a stomach ailment, also struggling with his academics back in January, so they sat him down for the year, further shortening the Jeff Rulin bench.
Leland Norris.
Leland Norris, the point guard. Also declared academically ineligible in January. So those were 2 guys who were getting key minutes, no longer available. And in a potential matchup, which would come on Monday night at 7 o'clock in the MAAC championship game, that could be a factor. Wilson gets 1 out of 2. He's into double figures with 10 points. .43 Iona. Under 6 minutes to go here in the second half. Ryder led at the intermission, 34-27, thanks to a big 13-0 run late in that first half. But the second half has been all Iona. Good defense by Young to steal the entry pass. Grant pulls it back out. Probably a wise decision, and some of the fans up from New Rochelle appreciate the fact that the Gales aren't trying to go full throttle all the way.
If Iona scores on this possession, Ryder's going to have to come out of the zone.
Grant misses, Porter the rebound. McClark lost the dribble. Wicks picks it up. Porter for 3. Count the basket and 1. Kirksey called for the foul on the wrist.
You talk about a way to get back in ball games. One of the ways is to connect on a 3-point shot and get fouled, make it a 4-point play. Kirksey ran at the shooter a little out of control, picks up the foul, and all of a sudden, he makes this shot, Doug. 7-point lead.
Mike Scott back in. He had 11 points in the first half, none since. And that 3-point shot and that free throw, Glenn, snaps a 3-minute scoring drought for the Bronx. 7-point Iona lead. Gales with possession. Nakia Miller back into the game. Kirksey, quick release, misses. Scott tips it to Crawford. This is Porter. Pulls up again. No good. That was a 2-point try. Kirksey the rebound for the Gales. Wilson, quick first step, and he gets the deuce.
Nice job by Iona, though, reversing the ball. The ball movement created the opening. The defense couldn't react. That's why Wilson was so open. Kirksey does a nice job not only of scoring, but of also keeping the ball flowing in the offense.
See Don Harnum imploring his troops as they trail 56-47. And there's that first step off the reversal that Diary Wilson put in the hoop.
See the ball movement, what it does right here, it forces Ryder to run at the ball handler. That's Crawford, who was out of position. And that's what Donnie Harnum is talking to his team about.
And a nice job underneath by Nakia Miller to seal off the defenders. Hey, let's take a look at today's Pepsi Slam of the game. Game in the first half off the Kirksey feed. Diary Wilson getting up and throwing down the Pepsi Slam of the game. Pepsi, the joy of cola. Wilson's had a solid game, 12 points. Kirksey, meanwhile, leads the way with 21. Just over 4 minutes left on the clock here in Albany. Scott off the mark. Miller the rebound. Wilson changed his shot in midair and got it to fall.
Boy, Iona's really getting the ball to Wilson where he can score. If he catches it within 10 feet and in and he puts it on the floor with one bounce, he's automatic.
Crawford, NBA range three. That's something we've not seen from the junior out of Winchester, Virginia, now with 6 points here tonight. Back to an 8-point game, 3:15 to go in the second. Young dribbled it off his foot. Junior Curtis trying to make him pay. And he does. Back to a 6-point game.
One of the rare turnovers, careless mistakes that Jason Young has made this game. He's had a great floor game. You have to take care of the basketball in crunch time, though, Doug.
Kirksey, nice idea trying to find Miller, but the pass was a little bit off the mark, out of bounds. And it goes back over to Ryder. The Bronx will have it when we come back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Super Saturday quarterfinal action. Iona leading by 6 on the MAAC television network.
Distinguish yourself at Manhattan College, ranked among the top Northeastern colleges and universities by U.S. News and World Report. Join our caring campus community in Riverdale, New York, where the student-to-professor ratio is 15-to-1. Be part of an impressive group of Manhattan College alumni, ranked 3rd in the nation in corporate leadership. Whether your goal is business, arts, education, engineering, or science, we'll help you show the world what makes you unique. Call 1-800-MC2-EXCEL.
This game is brought to you in part by HSBC, your world of financial services. The Pepsi Cola Company, the joy of cola. Citizens Communications, the official telecommunications company of the MAAC. Budget. Get out of the ordinary with Budget. Chase Manhattan Bank, the right relationship is everything. And by Bob Stores, great buys on brands you wear. Iona with a 6-point lead, and Glenn, it's not often when your Pepsi player of the game is scoreless, but that's the case. Jason Young, our Pepsi player of the game, for his career-high 12 assists, one off the MAAC tournament record. Still with 2 minutes and 48 seconds to go, he might eclipse the old Doremus Bennerman mark. He's our Pepsi player of the game. Pepsi, the joy of cola.
Well, Doug, we have a ball game here. Ryder's the type of team that really knows how to use the clock and penetrate in. Great job. Junior Curtis has done a fabulous job in the second half of going by Jason Young and being creative with the basketball. It's really been the difference in getting Ryder into their offense in the second half.
Foul on Young is 3rd. Both teams over the double bonus. Junior Curtis, a 70% foul shooter at the line.
Johnny Harnum doing a nice job of inserting Junior Curtis into the lineup with Crawford, moving Crawford to the 2. You saw Crawford get off a couple of shots from 3, where he struggled without Curtis in the game with him. Big offensive rebound.
We've got ourselves a 3-point game. McClark pulls the Bronx within 3. You can see the Rider Bronx picking up the defensive intensity even more. There it is, Porter knocking it out of bounds. It'll be Iona basketball on the baseline, 16 seconds to shoot.
Doug, I really like Junior Curtis. He's got a great handle. He gets in the lane. He's added a different dimension to Rider's team. He's playing great defense on Jason Young. He's been a spark plug for Rider this game.
He's a true point guard. Really the only true point guard on the Rider roster. Shot clock at 10. Young drops it off. Kirksey gathers, and he was fouled. I haven't made this point this year. I've done this every year. I've got to put my 2 cents in. Again, when somebody makes a good pass, the guy gets fouled on his shot, and he goes to the line and hits free throws. This guy here delivering the pass should get an assist.
You think so?
I think so. If your pass turns into points, why not?
That's a good point, but you know, look at this foul shot by Tariq Kirksey. For all you children out there, do not do this. Do not try to attempt this shot at home. He goes east to west with his left foot on the free throw line, but he makes it. So it truly is whatever works for you. Go ahead and do it. Watch this free throw shot. Watch his left foot go to the left. Out of your screen.
Little timing mechanism, and it works. 23 points for Tariq Kirksey. Up around 80% from the line on the year. Under 2 minutes to go. 5-point Iona lead. Curtis crossover on Wolford. Porter puts it back in, and he was fouled. Mario Porter stepping up. He's got 16 points now.
You have to like the intensity that Rider is playing on the offensive boards. A high shot almost went over the backboard. Look how Porter establishes inside position on Kirksey. Both McClark and Porter are keeping these guys in the game along with Alwyn Curtis.
Jeff Rulin now playing the offense-defense game with Wolford and Young, bring Wolford in on defense to match up against Curtis, and then bringing Jason Young back in on offense. R.J. Wicks back into the game for Rider. Haven't seen him in quite a while. Porter at the line trying to complete the three-point play. 67% free throw shooter. It is a 2-point game. $1:45 on the clock. The number 2 seed, Iona Gales, in jeopardy of relinquishing this lead that they've enjoyed most of the second half. Rider led at the intermission, but the Gales have led throughout. Here's Nakia Miller posting strong, spinning to the baseline, and he gets the roll. Iona back up by 4, a minute 18 to go.
Great isolation by Iona. All the weak side defense went away to let Miller go one-on-one. The guard's got to go in and help dig it out. Miller's too good and too strong inside.
Wicks, entry pass to Porter, double team.
There's the double down. See, when Porter catches it, 2 Iona players are there. Nice job, nice recognition by Porter.
McClark wanted an intentional foul called against Grant, nothing doing. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Second personal foul against Phil Grant. McClark to shoot 2.
Doug, so many players struggle when they get the ball on the block with their back to the basket and they're doubled down. They can't find the open man. Porter did a great job of recognizing where McClark was on the double team. Tyree Wilson left the weak side. He was wide open.
John Harnum happy to see McClark back and healthy. Remember, he suffered a torn lateral meniscus in an inter-squad game back in October, had arthroscopic surgery, missed some time, but he seems to be full strength now. Ryder really struggling, Glenn, from the free throw line here tonight. 7 out of 15 before that one. McClark gets 1 out of 2. He's got a dozen. And it's back to a 3-point game with just under a minute remaining. Now we've got one more game coming up here from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. The 4th of the 4 men's quarterfinals. It'll pit the number 3 seed Fairfield against the number 6 seed Manhattan. Immediately following this game, you see the timeouts remaining in this ball game.
Doug, let's do a little strategy check right now. Iona has the ball up 3 with 56 seconds left to play. 2-possession game. Iona's goal right now is to try to get a good shot and work the clock down as far as they can go and try to score. You don't need a 3. Go for the 2.
Glenn, this copyrighted telecast of the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the MAAC and MAAC properties. All right, let's see if they follow your game plan there, Glenn. 56 6/10 seconds on the clock here in the second half.
And from Ryder's standpoint, you don't need a quick foul right here. You want to play straight, honest defense.
.40 seconds left in the second half. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Iona by 3 with the basketball. Soft pass in to the post, loose on the floor. 6 seconds to shoot. Dyree Wilson lost it. Scott's got it for the Bronx. They can hold for a final shot if they want, trailing by 3. Don Harnum calls the timeout. So now give me a strategy session once again, Glenn. Now Ryder's got it right in front of them, down by just 1 possession, and they can do what they want.
18 seconds left, Doug. You either go for a quick 2 or you got to milk the clock a little bit and go for the 3.
But you need to leave yourself enough time if you miss to get that offensive rebound and get up another decent shot.
See, they don't have the luxury now to go for a 2. It doesn't do anything for them. But if they get a quick, easy layup, you got to go for it.
Set some screens here, okay? Now, at the end, Mario is here. We just came off the stagger, okay? Now it's Junior and John screening for Mario for a 3. Where am I? I don't know. You know, you might be the guy coming off of this.
All right, Doug, right there, Donnie Harnum is designing a 3-point shot for either Mario Porter or Michael Crawford. Those are 2 of the top 3 players.
Crawford, a 46% 3-point shooter. Porter has been struggling late in the season from outside, down to 25%. Let's see if what Coach Harnum drew up comes to fruition. Crawford out front, guarded by Grant. 10 seconds to go. The 3 by Porter, long rebound. Dyree Wilson, and he was fouled immediately with 6 4/10 seconds to go. So now can Dyree Wilson hit free throws?
Not the play that was diagrammed by Donnie Harnum. Mario Porter was wide open in the corner, but he really forced it. Didn't come off the stagger screen. Kirksey played him nicely, anticipating the 3-point shot. Was right in his face. He really just threw up a prayer.
Timeout called by Iona.
Well, they were working the ball around the perimeter. The ball went back into Crawford's hands. Look, Kirksey's right there. As soon as he catches it, he's right there. He's on balance. Kirksey does a nice job getting his hand in his face. And look how careful he was not to foul. Wilson did a great job of getting inside position on the rebound. Well executed defensive play by Iona.
Glenn, we'd like to welcome all our viewers along the Empire Sports Network who've joined us with 6 4/10 seconds left to go in regulation. Iona trying to hold on as the number 2 seed here in the MAAC tournament against Ryder, the number 7 seed.
The shot puts it away for Jeff Rowland's club. He nails this one.
Wilson gets 2. He's a 64% foul shooter.
And you just need 1. There it is.
15 points now for Dyree Wilson. calm and cool on both.
You know, you really could see the maturity of Kirksey. Wilson started to go into a little dance after he made that shot. Kirksey, understanding how important this game is for both teams, said, calm down a little bit. Let's end the game, and then we celebrate. That's maturity. That's a senior. That's the MAAC player of the year.
Final score, 64-59. Iona beats Ryder. It wasn't easy, but the Gales advance. They'll take on the winner of our next game, our fourth quarterfinal between Fairfield and Manhattan. Stick around, much more to come from Albany on the MAAC Television Network. Iona reaches the semifinals of the 2000 HSBC MAAC basketball tournament here in Albany, winning by 5 over the Ryder Bronx. We send it over now to Howard Simon, standing by with a winning coach.
Jeff Ruland, talk about maybe what you talked about at halftime. Ryder makes the run, they shoot the ball well in the first half, and you guys turn it around in the second half and then hold on.
Got to give them a lot of credit. They did a great job. They slowed us down with their zone. We didn't handle it well in the first half. Did a better job in the second half. They shot the ball extremely well. I'm very happy that we escaped with a win. Now we need to get some rest and see who we play.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Jeff Ruland breathing a sigh of relief. Jason Young's going to come in. Excellent game distributing the ball. Talk a little bit about how you guys clicked so much more on offense in the second half.
We just looked to move the ball and try to get inside. They started playing in zone because they got in foul trouble. And we knew that we had better inside guys than them. If we got inside, we wouldn't have any problems.
Tell me a little bit about the stretch. Now, you're up 11. Do you think you guys relaxed at all and let them back in the game?
Maybe relaxed a little bit, but they're a good team. I give them a lot of credit. You know, they fought hard. They had a game yesterday. That probably helped us out a lot. And, I mean, they're a good team. We knew they were going to go on a run. We just had to withstand it.
Tariq Kirksey, I mean, I'm sure he doesn't do anything that surprises you guys, but just talk about the second half where he came out. It was almost the Tariq Kirksey show. You got him the ball. I think he had 11 of your first 14 points.
He's the player of the year, and that's the bottom line. He's the best player in the conference, and I think he's one of the, probably one of the best players in the country. If it's up to me, but, I mean, he's a great player, and we just rode his back to the end.
All right, you know you're in. You know the guys in green behind you are a pretty good rival. I mean, do you have a preference, Manhattan or Fairfield?
I want to play the Lakers. No, it doesn't matter. We'll play anybody. You know, it's Manhattan, Fairfield. They're both good teams. We beat Manhattan twice, and we beat Fairfield once, and they beat us once. So it doesn't matter. We just want to play.
Congratulations on the win.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Iona sweats this one out, but they advance, and now they await either Fairfield or Manhattan. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Howard. Well, Jason wants
the Lakers. He wants Shaq.
He wants to match up with Kobe in the backcourt.
I'm not too sure he's going to be too successful with Kobe.
But I'm telling you, great game for Jason Young. Again, our Pepsi player of the game, who didn't score a point, but won off the MAAC tournament record with 12 assists.
Yeah, he did a nice job of controlling the tempo, and obviously we talked about it at halftime. The tempo arrow was controlled by Ryder in the first half until Jason Young really pushed the ball up the floor, got the ball into Kirksey's hands in the second half, and then the game was over.
Well, Glenn, 3/4 of our semifinal field is set. We take a look at the tournament brackets. Siena and Niagara will play tomorrow at noon in one semifinal, and Iona will await the winner of our upcoming game between the number 3-seeded Fairfield Stags and the 6-seeded Manhattan Jaspers. What do you think about the way it's gone so far, Glenn?
Well, I think it's a nice tournament. I mean, you're talking about four of the strongest teams in the conference. Clearly, Iona, the number 2 seed, Siena, Niagara, a very strong team. Fairfield, Manhattan, that could go either way, so I'm not too sure who Iona wants to play.
Meanwhile, yeah, Manhattan, a very dangerous team. They struggle a little bit over the last 2 or 3 weeks of the regular season, but they've got a bunch of quality wins this year.
Well, they got great three-point shooters. They got a very young team, and they also have Darrell Brown, who can score from anywhere on the floor. Both of these teams, Fairfield and Manhattan, very similar teams. I expect the next game to either go in the 80s to 100. It's going to go up and down.
Meanwhile, Iona imposed its will in the second half here in this game. They struggled in the first half offensively, defensively, but the veteran team, the number 2 seed, wound up pounding out the win.
Well, you make a good point. You were talking about a team that only has 1 senior in the top 8 players, and when it comes down to it, making good decisions on the floor is really what Iona did in the second half. Jason Young did a fabulous job getting the ball into Kirksey's hands, and of course Nakia Miller made some big shots as well. Tyree Wilson was fabulous in executing a half-court offense, made some big shots attacking the gaps, so all the upperclassmen really came to play for Iona.
Okay, we're going to take a break once again from the Pepsi Arena in Albany. We're between ball games of our men's quarterfinals here at the Pepsi Arena. You're watching the MAAC Television Network.
Welcome back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. Our coverage continues of the MAAC tournament. We're between games, and we're going to spend a couple of moments with Mike Netzel from TIAA CREF first off, explain what that is for the folks who aren't familiar with it.
Okay, Howard. Well, TI-Cref is one of America's leading financial services organizations, and we also manage the TI-Cref retirement program, which goes out to 2 million participants, 9,600 institutions across the United States, providing retirement plans for higher education, educational institutions alike.
Now, you're tied into the MAAC, right? And there are benefits, faculty and staff in the MAAC are involved?
We are. All the institutions in the MAAC participate in our retirement program. And they also, we provide services to faculty at those institutions, high quality, low cost retirement benefits for their investments.
Now, folks might not know, you also have a program called Reading with the MAAC, if you could talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, that's an outreach effort to K through 12. And for 80 years, we've been involved with education institutions. So this is a natural for us to work to help kids read more. And what the kids did is we actually distributed to 40 schools in the Albany Capital District bookmarks, and if they read 5 books before the MAAC tournament, we gave them a free ticket to one of the sessions of the tournament game. And for us, it's a chance to reach out, and I think we basically see if our company believes if education prospers, we prosper.
Well, one last thing, we're talking about college students right now, and I know another program you're involved in because I'm in it. You have a program where you can have a college savings plan, and also it's a tax break, too.
Right. It's the New York State College Savings Program, and that allows people to invest money long-term for education. It's a partnership between New York State, TI-Cref, the State Comptroller's Office, and the Higher Education Services Corporation. And basically what it does is it gives people a tax break. They can actually invest for education, and the money that they put away is tax deferred until the child takes money out for college. And I know you're a participant, so
I'll be in it for about 15 more years if you don't mind.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, appreciate you coming by.
Thank you very much, Howard. We appreciate it, too.
Mike Netzel joining us from TIAA-CREF as we continue our coverage of the MAAC tournament in Albany. Back with more from the Pepsi Arena in just a moment.
And we're between ball games. We're just a few minutes away from the start of the Manhattan-Fairfield quarterfinal. In the meantime, we'd like to show you another feature on the Rider wrestling team, one of the most successful sports at that university down in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. Let's take a look.
That has produced 10 All-Americans and has captured 11 East Coast Wrestling Association titles since the 1980s. And according to the current squad, they expect a top 20 finish again this year. The leader of this competitive team is head coach Gary Taylor, who has been named the ECWA Coach of the Year 7 times. When he took over the program 21 years ago, his goal was to produce a nationally ranked team with nationally ranked individuals, something Rider had never been able to claim.
A lot of it is to begin to get people to think at that level and to begin to recruit student athletes that want to compete at that level. They don't want to just be on a good, solid team. They want to compete at the national levels.
This year's team features a nationally ranked heavyweight and a sophomore standout who was the country's top freshman last year. They are a young team, but what they lack in depth, they make up for in dedication.
I think our best attribute is that we work hard and we're very we gel well together. We're good friends on the team. There's no cliques on this team.
What we do get is hard workers and kids that want to win, and I attribute that a lot. Also, our coaches are really very good coaches. They know a lot about the sport, what it takes to win.
In fact, 2 assistant coaches are former Rider All-Americans. John Carvalera says that Rider's ability to compete with and even beat the larger programs is no accident.
I would have to sum that up in 2 words with Gary Taylor. What he's done here is actually pretty amazing what he's done with the resources that he has at a school like this and the size of this school.
Coaching. Our coaches work us hard. He can take just about anybody in tournament to a champion.
When we compete, I believe we're going to win, and I believe we're going to win against people that other people don't think we're going to win. And the trick is to transfer that to the student athletes, and I think it takes time. I think you have to develop that as a coach, but that's something that I just don't see any point in competing if you really don't think you're going to win.
But it's not just the wrestling program that draws these talented athletes to Rider. What made you decide to come to Rider?
Academics. They're known for their academics, and they stick by you if you're in a tough spot or work with you.
They have a great business program. That's my major. I'm in business. I think it was the top 20% in the country, this school is, so it was a perfect combination because they have a very good wrestling program, and it was a small school, and I kind of like that too.
But this so-called small school has big plans for this wrestling team.
Of course, I think we're going to take first and win the conference and beat Hofstra and all those other teams like Drexel and everybody else. I have faith in these guys. They work very hard. They deserve it. And my heart and soul is behind them.
At Rider University, Mary Beth Petriella, WZBN News.
Thank you, Mary Beth. We return our focus back to basketball when we come back to the Pepsi Arena in Albany. The fourth quarterfinal coming up between Manhattan and Fairfield on the MAAC Television Network.